Good morning and welcome to Thursday morning's adapted yoga. So we're going to do still our breathing technique, but we may as well do our facial exercises and facial work at the same time. Excuse me, a bit of a frog in my throat this morning. What I'm going to get you to do is to think about breathing into the stomach muscles. So as you breathe out, you feel the lower part of the stomach pull in, and as you breathe in, you'll feel the lower part of the stomach come out. So it's just about breathing right down into the lowest part of the lungs. So again, you may feel the sides of the lungs pull out, you may feel the back of the lungs pull out. But at the same time, we're going to do some facial exercises. So I'm going to just let you start by trying to get the air, the breathing. So thinking about that breathing in through the nose, pulling the stomach in, breathing in and letting the stomach come back out. Place your hand on your sides if you want and see if you can get it to go into the sides as well. And then if you place your hand around the back and see if you're breathing into the lower back as well. And if you keep one hand on your side, you should be able to feel if it's going into the sides and into the belly. And into the back, so you feel it in 3 dimensions. So we're going to keep that breathing going, but we're going to take our hands away, get our cream. And again, it can be cream, it can be oil, it doesn't have to be anything fancy. But we're just making sure that we put enough on our neck and our face, around our eyes, going up towards our ears. And then if we're getting our spoons, we're placing our finger again on the inside, so it's sort of sitting there, and that gives us a bit of pressure. We'll start at the nose, so we're starting through the nose, we're taking it down, and we're pushing out along the jawbone up to the ear. Kind of catching in the eyes with them bags. And we're just going to do 8. But we're thinking about also that breathing into that lower part of the lungs. As we pull out, you may feel that the nose widens so that you can get a bit more air in. And you may be able to work your breathing with your movements. And then we're going to bring our spoons down by our jaw. We're taking it out and we're taking it up towards the ear. Out and up towards the ear. Again, we're chasing the bottom of that jawbone. And then we're going to take it around underneath the nose, pushing out, taking it round, and the outside of edge, taking it up. So again, from the nose, underneath the nose, pulling out, sweeping round the chin. We can turn if we want, pushing it up. and bring it off. So we're taking it up towards the eyes. We're just taking the spoons underneath the eyes and up again and over the ears. Underneath the eyes, not pushing too rough on the eye skin, so we want to make sure that it's still sliding. And then we're taking it above the eyes, so we're taking it into the eye socket and pushing up and out. So lifting and push out. So lift and out. Leave that thing up there. Right. So taking it up to our brow. Now we're turning it to the side, so it's the outside edge, and we're just scooping upwards. Scooping it up. You can move it out and then take it in. Let's do one more across here. And bring it down. So we're going to still using them outside edge. We're just going to draw again all the way, going down the skin, bringing it up towards the ears. And then we're turning it back round and taking it down, working towards the collarbone. Now about the back of the ear. And relax. Lovely. So you'll feel it, you give your shoulders a workout as well. We're going to bring ourselves down onto the floor, and we'll start off on the floor. We'll stay on the floor throughout this. Remember, if you need to bring yourself down to the floor, if you know how to do it, or use the chair. And get your slippers off. I'm going to turn some music on. That's better. So we start off on the floor. We're going to start with a neck cross. Sorry, I'll change that camera. So we're starting off down on the floor. We can turn the palms over. We can keep the knees bent. We're going to stretch our neck from down here. So we're going to tuck the chin right the way in, keeping the head on the floor, but we're just tucking that chin in. About 3 breaths here. See where your body wants to breathe into. Where it feels more natural, there's no strain. And then we're bringing it back to natural. So we're going to tilt the head back, keeping the head on the floor, keeping the shoulders down. We're just lifting that neck up, and we're seeing if we can stick the chin up towards the ceiling. And again, where feels more natural to breathe into. And bring the head back down. Turn the ear towards the floor so that you're looking over your left shoulder. And keeping the right shoulder flat. And then bringing it back to centre. And look over the other shoulder. And bring it back to centre. So we're going to take the ear, so you can lift your head off the floor with this one to bring your right ear towards your right shoulder, but you're tucking your chin in. You don't want your chin sticking up in the air, you want your chin tucked down. Your nose should be pointing up to the ceiling, not down towards your feet. It's like a side stretch really. And then bring it back to centre and take it to the other side. And bring it back to centre. So we're going to bring our feet together so that our feet and our knees are together. We can take our arms out. Palms can be up, palms can be down. It's whatever feels, again, more comfortable for you. All I want you to do is to keep the knees and the feet together. You're going to bring the knees over towards the right. If they don't touch the floor, it doesn't matter. But you don't want your right shoulder, your left shoulder to lift off the floor. You want to keep it down. Don't compromise that shoulder just to get the knees to the floor. You also don't want your knees to open. You want to keep them squeezing together. You'll feel this stretching through that lower back. And then bring it back to centre. And let's take it over the other side. Now you can keep the head looking straight up, which I'm doing now. Or the next one you may want to move your head in the opposite direction to the knees. But before you do, think about how the body feels before, and then think about how the body feels after and where you feel. So let's bring that back to centre. And we're going to take it to the other side. And like I said, if you want to, you can turn your head and look away. But how does that feel? Where do you feel it? What difference does it make? How does it affect your breathing? everything back to centre. And let's take it over the other side. And bring it back to centre. So staying down here, we're going to bring our right leg and place it, if we can, on top of the knee of our left leg. So we're taking it into a figure of four, and you're just going to let your knee bounce in this position. This is lush. We're going to bring it down, and we're going to change sides. So flexing the foot, that'll protect the knee, and just let it bounce. We'll bring it down. We're changing sides. So now we're going to push the knee away and see if we can lift the foot off the floor and bring it towards us. So pushing that knee towards us. Not using your hands, just letting your leg do the work. That way you don't go too far, you only go as far as your body will allow. If you pull, you might just pull a little bit too much. And we're going to bring the foot back down, but we're going to stay here. Take our hands out to the side. You may want to put your fingers flat down and bring your knee over to one side. So this is what we were doing earlier, but a little bit slightly different. And then we're going to bring it up and we're going to take it over to the other side. No matter which way you go, just feeling the difference as you're moving between the two sides. And then bring it back to centre. You'll feel these working right into the hips and to the knees. So let's change sides. So again, bringing that foot up. Flex the foot, push the knee away. Lift the foot up. Give it a little pulse. We're going to bring the foot back to the floor. We're going to bring the knee over to the side. Feeling that stretch through that foot on the floor's hip. And bring it back to centre. And let's take it over the other side. The foot's down, you'll feel it through that hip. That was a rubbish explanation. Bring it back to centre. Take the foot down. So again, we're staying here. We're going to pull our right knee in towards our chest. Hold it here. Now you can stay in this position. You don't need to take this any further, but if you want, you can stretch that leg out and try and push the heel to the floor and pull that leg back, feeling that stretch through the back of the leg. So bend the knee down and bring it back to the floor. So let's try the other side. Pull the knee in with a bent leg. And also stretch your bum muscles. Take your hand behind the thigh. Flex the foot, stretch it up. So again, you're not really pulling here, you're just stopping it from going down. You're just holding it there and pushing that heel to the ceiling. And bend it down. Bring it down. Let's try one more. Pulling it in. stretch it up. Doesn't matter if it doesn't go straight. You'll feel it at the back of the leg. This is kind of a forward bend, but on the floor. So it's protecting your spine, because your spine's nice and straight and protected. But we're working the hamstrings from the opposite way around. Bring it down. And let's do one more on the other leg. So pulling it in. And this is kind of the edge, if we're doing it the other way round, it's kind of where you want to get, but our knees bent. And then all we're doing is we're straightening it. We're just, like I said, holding onto the leg so that it's not pulling away. But we might not be able to get that leg straight because them hamstrings just don't want to go. And that's okay. Let's bend it down, bring it down. So now we've done a slight forward bend, let's do a back bend. We're going to turn our palms over, and as we do that, we'll turn our shoulders over. So the shoulder blades come underneath the lower back. Now we're just going to move the hips up and down. So we're not going into a full bridge yet. We're just tilting the pelvis backwards and forwards so that we feel the pelvis tilt up, but the bones are still touching the floor. The base of the spine is still touching. The shoulder blades are touching. This is we're being squished down into the floor. Then we're going to tilt it the other way. So we're keeping the shoulders on the floor, the bum's down on the floor, but we're trying to make that arch as big as possible, a big arch with our spine. And when we're ready, if we want, we can push down. And again, we can think about using our breathing and what happens through the spine as it lengthens through the back, that we have to kind of wiggle our spine and our shoulders back a little. Our chin tucks in, our body kind of scoops up. But then we're going the other way. And our spine kind of shrinks, our shoulder blades come closer towards our hips. Our neck feels like it's being stretched slightly, we're keeping it on the floor. Our chest pushes up to the ceiling, our shoulder blades come closer together, but they still stay on the floor. We kind of dove, and it's as if we're being pushed up through that lower back. And let's do one more. Feel the movement. Breathe here. So make sure you're breathing so that you can feel the difference of how hard it is to breathe into certain areas in different positions. It's a safe position. So when you want to move out, you can. You can breathe in. And then when you get here, try the breathing out in this position. And breathing in and out, just to see what it feels like. And then bring it to what you would feel is natural. The spine needs to stretch out a little bit more for natural, but not too much. So we're going to pull our knees in, and then we'll roll up onto our bum. Bringing ourselves over onto our side. So, we've got to twist that inside part of our body as well, and we've got to do a bit of down the side. So from our knees, you're just going to pull your bum over to the side and have a look down towards your bum, and you'll feel the sides stretch. Then we'll bring it back to centre and go to the other side. So you're looking towards your bum and you'll feel the one side. So we're going to just bring it back to centre. Now we're going to hold these and really kind of breathe and feel the difference in the breath. So let's take it over to the side and twist as we breathe out. Now hold it here and breathing in and breathing out and breathing in and breathing out. And then let's bring it back to centre. And then let's take it to the other side. Yeah, a bit like a concertina. That's literally what our lungs are, our rib cages. And bring it back. And let's do a little twist. So we're taking it to thread a needle. Take that palm, take it up, bring it under. Let the shoulder come down. You can either take the arm over the top or you can rest it and let everything just relax down. Feeling the stretch through that shoulder blade. Let's bring it up and just twist up to the ceiling. Bring it down. Let's take the other hand under, breathing out. Bring the shoulder down. If it doesn't go to the floor, you can always put a block under so that your head's resting. It should feel lovely through that shoulder blade at the back. As if somebody's grabbed the shoulder blade and just give it a bit of a pull, lifting it off the rib cage. And then lifting up, breathing in, breathe out. Let's do one more each side. Feel like the lights release through the neck as well. You can breathe into them areas where you can feel the stretching. Into the area between the shoulder and the rib cage. And then we're going to breathe in. And stretch up. Breathe out, breathe down. Last one. And breathing in and just stretch back. And out. Lovely. So, we're going to do a cat, a cow. We're going to go cat into dog. And then down into cobra, into child, and then we're going to roll up back into cat and start again. Okay, so it's a continuous movement. We're going to do 4 of these if you can. If you can't, don't worry. So here we go. We're breathing out to cat. We're breathing in to cow. We're breathing out as we go into cat and then push up to dog. We're coming down and we're breathing in at cobra. And we're breathing out at child. Roll up. Breathing out. We're going to do one more. And stay here, turn your palms over, let your head relax down, let your shoulders relax. Open your legs if you need to let everything fall forward. Remember, if you need them blocks or anything like that, then get hold of one of those. So you're going to bring yourself back up. So we're going to work on some mobilities for the hips. So we're starting with our feet touching and taking our knees apart. Now if you need to, extra padding, pillows, cushions, blankets, anything under them knees. And we're bringing ourselves onto our hands. So from here, all we're doing is we're rocking back into child and coming forward, but leaning a little bit forward so that we feel our hips go down. So backwards and forwards. And these are working into the hips and working into the knees. And let's do one more. Bring it back. Bring the legs back in so that they're underneath the hips. And we're taking the foot out to the side, placing it flat down and pushing down through the outside edge of the foot. And again, we're going to do the same thing. We're moving backwards and forwards. You'll feel this starting to work a little bit more into that hip. Now if you don't like this one, you can always go back to just the child. And then we're bringing it back up. So we're going to change sides. I'm going to turn around. Otherwise that keep us doing it. So we're taking the foot out. Bring that over a little. So the foot's down and we're just moving backwards and forwards. Doesn't have to be very far. You'll feel it as soon as you start to move. And let's bring it under. So we're going to do one more on each side of those. And another 8. Pushing back. You may be able to get all the way down, you might not. And let's take it in and we'll change sides last time. And bring it back in. So if you have got a block, grab hold of your block. Now with this you're going to bring your foot up onto your block and your knee on the floor. And you're just lunging. So you're going forward, lunging into things. So again, hand on the floor and just pushing the leg forward. So this is stretching these hamstrings a little bit more, stretching that hip a little bit as well. And then let's try the other side. So your foot onto the block, hands each side, and you're just lunging forward, pulling back. Lunging forward, pulling back. And let's change one more time. And the further you can take that leg back at the back, the more you'll feel that stretch. And bring it down. Change sides, that's fine. And bring it down. Sit back into hero. Give your bum a little shake. So if we bring ourselves onto our bum and we're taking our knees into what's called 90-90. So you're bringing your foot down and knee over. Now, if you find that back leg doesn't want to go or you get cramp, then just do one leg at a time. Okay, so it tends to be, you might get cramp in your butt muscle when you turn that leg that way. So if you do, just bring it this way and you're just going to do one side and then move to the other side. You're not going to do it both. So you're just trying to go forward like this and come up, forward and come up. Okay, for us, we're going to move a little bit more. So we're still going to go forward here. And you're leaning forward, you're going to come back up. You can bring the hands round the front, around the back, sorry. Bring the legs round, place them down, hand round, and move forward. If you can, you take the hands away, and you move forward. You can have the hands in prayer, and moving forward. Hands in prayer, moving forward. You'll feel this working right into the hips. And bring it back in. Give your legs a little in. So, I'm going to take you onto the floor. Could do that again, but we'll do it again next time. Bring yourself down, place your hands on your head and keep your knees on top of your knees. You're going to place your hands on your hips. Now you don't want your hips to move backwards and forward. You want your hips to stay still. So you're going to squeeze your stomach muscles in. You're going to keep your feet together. You're going to open your knees and bring them back as if they were clamshells. So we're opening and back. 3, keeping the feet together. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And relax. We're now going to turn over again. I'm going to go the other way. So again, our head is in our hand, our knees are bent and they're together. We're on our side, our spine and our hips are stacked. Hold on to our hips so that we don't wiggle backwards and forwards. Pull your stomach muscles in, keep your feet together, open your knees and bring them back down. 2, 3, 4, and you'll feel these working right into that hip. 6, 4, 5, 6, 7, and last one, 8. and relax. And again, the more you do, the better it is, but we're kind of running out of time. So I'm going to spin us round and do again another one. They're working your thighs and your hips, but you'll also feel it working your stomach muscle. So we're going to bring it into a side plank and lift our legs, but we're going to keep our knee down. Again, you can have your hand down or you can have your elbow down. It's completely up to you. Your fingers can face in any direction as long as the wrist, elbow and shoulders are in the same line. That's the most important thing, not which way the fingers are pointing. So we're having our leg down, elbows down, whatever you want. You're coming up onto your side. Now you can stay here and you don't have to move this leg if you don't want to. If you can, you're lifting the leg up and down. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And let's bring it down. And then we can try the other side. So again, on your side, lifting up, finding a position that's better for you. So your hand can be here, it can be over your head, it can be up in the air, it doesn't matter where that top arm is. And then you're lifting the leg up and down. And again, you'll feel it working that hip. Plus that muscle on the side, your obliques. 8 and down. Also your bum. So it works all of them different areas. It's working and stretching all the way in there. So we're going to take it into, again, the more you do, the better it is. So if you wanted, you could do extra ones of those. Do them again, 8 on each side, 10 on each side. Build up, but build up slowly. Watch your hip. If they start to hurt, then stop. Finishing off in monkey, which is what we were trying to get our hips all nice and loose for. Again, if you need your block, have your block ready. You're going to bring your foot forward, hand on the side, and again, have a block on each side if you feel that you can't get your leg down. If your leg's bent, then all I want you to do is to try and push that leg to straight. And like I said, if you need to, you might want to block underneath your hands to get the leg straight. If the leg is bent, you don't go any further. It's only when the leg is straight that you can start to wiggle that foot forward. Now, you may get to a point where this leg doesn't want to go anymore, but you might be able to try that back leg. So you can tuck the toe and you can try and wiggle that leg back a little bit further. It again might not want to go. And then all you're doing is you're just holding it here or wiggling that foot forward. You could always, if you find it's too much, put the block underneath your leg so that it gives you a bit of support. Or you can get cushions, pillows, anything you want to stick underneath you just to hold you in this position for a little bit. You want to make sure that your hands are always down on the floor. They're always protecting you. They're the ones that are holding you up so that you're not putting the strain on the back of the knee or the back of the leg. So we're going to bring ourselves back. Now you can pull the leg back or you can roll onto the side where that leg is so that you end up this way, and then you can slide your legs in if that makes it a little bit easier. So we're going to try the other side. So we bring the leg forward. We're trying to get that leg straight. Once it's straight, we can wiggle it forward. We can move that leg back. We can bring the block and protect that leg so that it's also the hand. Oh, that's stuck on something. So that it's always protected. We're protecting the back of that knee. We're protecting the strings in the leg. But we're just taking ourselves down. And like I said, it doesn't have to be this far. You can have a stool underneath you. You can do it from a chair. And we're going to bring it back. And it's always nice to do it a second time. As you see, I can get it underneath, and then it just makes me come up a little bit taller the further you get down. You want to make sure that that back knee is always facing down, it's not rolling out to the side, so that the hips are facing forward. And then we're going to bring ourselves back. And we can try the other side. So even though I've lifted up, I'm still holding onto this block. So I'm still keeping my body up as straight as possible, as opposed to being here. But I've still got the weight of my upper body still into my arms. I'm not putting the whole of the weight onto my leg. And let's bring it back in. So from here, the best thing to do is to sit back into child. And then if we bring ourselves up and then take ourselves over onto our back. If we bring our left leg down and bring our right knee up towards our chest, we're going to hold onto our right knee with our left hand, take our right hand to the floor and bring our right leg across the body. Now we don't want that right shoulder to lift, we want to keep it on the floor. Even if the leg doesn't go anywhere near the floor, it doesn't matter. We're just holding it here, feeling that pull through that lower back. Working them hips again, just stretching out that hip. Now we're going to bring it back to centre. Bring the right foot back down. Bend the left knee. Take the right knee down. Pull the left knee in towards the chest. Take the left hand onto the floor. And bring the left leg across towards the right. And keep the left shoulder down. Your hand's there and it feels it wants to fall. You could use your hand so that the knee can rest on it. The left knee can rest on that arm. And we're going to bring it back. Take the knee down, the left foot's back on the floor, bring the other knee up. So let's do one more time. Putting the right knee in, left foot goes down, right hand down, goes across the body. Maybe feel you want to turn the head away from the leg. Just noticing what happens through the shoulders, through the lower back as you do that. Bring yourself back to centre. Bring the right foot down. Bring the left knee up. Stretch that right leg out. Left hand down. Left leg across towards the left. Other right arm. Turn your head away from the leg if you feel you want to. And bring it back to centre. You're going to stay here. You can turn your palms over. If you want to keep your knees bent, you can. Let the knees, but don't have them apart. Let them come together. Make sure that the lower back doesn't feel like you're arching, that your lower back feels nice and flat. You might have to adjust your hips. You can tuck your chin down. You can place your hand on that lower belly and then feeling the air coming in through the lower part, through the sides, through the back, through the front, and just breathing into the belly. Breathe out and then try not to breathe in, but just let the air flow naturally and see where it comes into the body. Or you can play with your lungs or do any of the breathing exercises that we've done earlier, anything that you prefer, not one size fits all. Make sure that everything feels relaxed, the shoulders, the jaw, the eyes. If you've got an eye pillow, you can put it over your eyes so that it gets rid of the sun. And just thinking about you. So I want you just to think about your breathing. Remember, I'm going to run off, but I want you to stay as long as you feel you want to. Your body will tell you, I've got an itch, you've got to go and do this, but do you really? Try and just breathe it out and think, well, I don't need to rush off just yet. I can take 5 minutes. So take that time. Just enjoy the fact that you've stopped doing exercise and you can now relax. If anybody says anything, you can just say, I'm doing yoga. I'm doing my breathing, working on my lungs.